All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music in real time for a couple of real people out there. And I do mean like two, maybe three, just like you right there, and just like me right here. The algorithm loves me. It absolutely loves me. Closing in on 80,000 subscribers, and I'm getting like 1,000 views on a good day, maybe 2,000. But then no more views after that. Going to be talking about John Bon Jovi and his band, Bon Jovi. Before I get to that, I'm just going to open this CD up because you'll be able to see it better from the inside. This is Ride Home and Safsund. I know, doesn't roll off the tongue. Why would I go looking for this? Well, it's really good. The album is called Kaleidoscope. If you want some West Coast mojo, but with some progressive tendencies at times, this album is really good. The spelling, Ride Home, is Rydholm, and Safsund, Safsund. Lars Safsund is kind of the brainchild behind the band Lionville, and he's done a lot of other stuff. He's kind of a household name in Sweden, not so much here in the United States. But Bon Jovi, or John Bon Jovi, certainly is a household name. The new album, Forever, is out there. It kind of sort of sounds a little bit like traditional Bon Jovi music, but John is still trying to recover when it comes to his vocals. Back in 2022, he went under the knife and did this thing called vocal cord medallization. That's what they call it. This is to help his voice regain proper function, but the healing process is taking longer than expected. Apparently, he interviewed with this radio station in Boston, 104.1 The Mix, right? When I was in the Boston area, that radio station didn't exist. So anyway, I remember WBCN 104. I thought it was 104.3. So I don't know. I'll have to go and find out, what's going on in the Boston radio market. Although radio is so predictable and boring, there used to be Magic 106 up there, which was your really cool adult contemporary radio station. He's also spoken with The Guardian. He says it's a work in progress. There's no miracle. He says, I just wish there was a effing light switch. Now, folks, I'm really tired of profanity because here's why. Because you can't go anywhere now in society where people aren't dropping F-bombs for no reason. Okay, if you want to make a point about something, he could have said here, there's no light switch. I just can't turn my vocals back on. But he's like, there's no effing light switch. Now, is an effing light switch better than a regular light switch? I would say no. A light switch is fine without the F part in front of it. But everybody has to use swears as like adjectives, action verbs now. I just, all right. So it's a pet peeve of mine because what's happened is people don't use interesting words anymore because they just want to shock you. They want to throw a word out there and get your attention. There's no effing light switch. All right, great. There's no effing extra lane on the highway either. And that's probably more appropriate because you're trying to like get around somebody who's driving 30 in the left lane, but there's no additional lane. All right. But I'm just saying, look, the usage is just over the top. Plus now on social media, you've got people who feel as though they're very sophisticated if they use more profanity. So again, I'm just putting that in there. He says, I'm more than capable of singing again. The bar is, can I do 2.5 hours a night, 4 nights a week? Now that's a stupid schedule. Why would he do 4 nights a week? If he's going to get back out there, do like 2 shows a week, bro. I mean, I think that would be enough, but 2.5 hours. How about a 90-minute set? How much Bon Jovi do you really need, right? You need some, maybe 2 hours tops. I know there's a few hits in there, but then there's a bunch of stuff that came later, which isn't really that important. Bon Jovi has noted that he's taking part in therapy sessions. This special therapy is for his voice, and hopefully someday he'll get back on the road, but he can't tour. He's not going to be able to tour for this new album. That's the headline. He says it's day to day. He's working on it. He told Entertainment Tonight back in April, nothing else matters until I work on getting better. And finally, he says something which makes sense to me. It's up to God at this point. I've done everything I can do. Right. And Richie Sambora also has said he's not interested in getting back together with John unless his voice gets back to, a certain place. Now, I'm thinking that's a good excuse as to why Richie won't get back with his old band. But I think it's pretty legit. He said some stuff that he'd like to be out there and he'd like to reunite. But if he's reuniting with something that doesn't really measure up, that's going to be on him, and people are going to remember that. Hey, remember when Richie came back and John couldn't sing? And I don't know, maybe people are more forgiving. And sometimes they're too forgiving because, as Huey Lewis once said, right? Sometimes bad is bad. Okay. That's the way things are. There's no way around it. I wish John well. Hopefully he'll learn some vocabulary words and stop throwing F-bombs. And that's not just him. It's like everybody in the music industry pretty much can't stop swearing. So I don't know why it bothers me so much, because I appreciate people who have a wide vocabulary, because I can learn from those people. I can become better with the English language when I'm listening to somebody who's kind of artful and maybe, they use a few words that I haven't heard before, and then I go look those up or I start using them myself. It's fun. It's interesting. You're growing as a human being. You're not just going along with the culture, which is going over a cliff. All right. So one more time on this album, I've had people thank me for putting this out there, even though it's not the easiest thing to talk about. Ride Home, Rydholm. My voice cracked right there. Ride Home and Safsund, Safsund. Kaleidoscope is the name of the album, courtesy of Pride and Joy Music. This came out a couple of months ago. They sent me an advance file to listen to, and I'm like, what is this? I just didn't expect this. And I played it in the car, and that's my ultimate test. I play it in the car, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, people need to hear this. So thanks again for watching the videos. If you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. I'm doing great with subscriptions right now. I'm doing horrible with revenue still. It's just, I got a bump from the Clapton interview, right? Which I thought I was going to get, but it was way less. And then we're starting to see just like a collapse in viewership since then. We had a couple of videos that did okay. Maybe people are expecting me to talk about like Ginger Baker and Blind Faith or something related to Clapton. I don't know. But this channel has always been about what I'm interested in talking about. And yes, I'll continue to, to defend Eric Clapton. But if you want to help out, Patreon, because this is the only way to deal with this. Patreon, YouTube memberships, Buy Me a Coffee, which has been very successful. Buy Me a Coffee. If you want to just a one-time thing and you don't want to be hooked up to something that bills your credit card monthly, I have a lot of very generous supporters over on Patreon. So if you just want to give like $5, $10, or, buy 2 coffees, you can do that. It's up to you what you want to do, but it helps the channel. It helps me keep going. I keep the lights on. I'm paying the electric bill. I'm paying the car payments. That's what I'm doing in life. I am not living a John Bon Jovi lifestyle. All right. Just Throwing it out there. It's just me and the dog and the kids and the wife, and that's what I do. So there you have it, folks. God bless everyone. Pray for peace in the Middle East. Some weird stuff happened over the weekend, and I'm sure some more weird stuff is going to happen. But we need calm, we need peace, and we need less war. Overall, we need less war if we can somehow manage that. In the old days, you had the rock and rollers out there talking about peace, give peace a chance and all that. They're not doing that anymore. Kind of weird how that's all sort of worked out. But anyway, before I get off on a tangent, I will see you later.